You're no longer an employee. What? What do you mean I'm fired? For 20 years, I worked at the company run by my in-laws. One day, my husband dismissively told me I was fired after my father-in-law passed away. It was said that it was because Catherine would take over the company. Wait. Even if Catherine takes over, don't we still need someone to handle accounting? Catherine's boyfriend is apparently going to handle that, so you're no longer needed. That's unbelievable. While I was in shock, Catherine smugly said to me, "You should know your place, especially when you're so arrogant despite being an outsider. Enjoy your jobless life from now on." Lol. When Catherine returned, I felt not only left out as a family member, but also unappreciated for the 20 years of dedication to the company. All my efforts seemed in vain. My father-in-law never openly praised me, but if he believed my suggestions benefited the company, he would adopt them. But with Catherine, who seems to see me as an enemy at the helm, things probably won't be the same. I no longer have any attachment to such a company. All right then, I hope you all work hard for the company's survival, I told Robert and the others and decided to part ways with the company. My name is Emily. I've always been good at managing money, studied accounting in college, and was hired as an accountant at a major company. It was when I got accustomed to the job that I met Robert, who was younger than me. We met at a bar, and he shared that he was helping out with his parents' recycling business. Talking to Robert, who was different from my career-driven colleagues and a bit indecisive, felt new. Robert seemed to take a liking to me, and we exchanged contact information, starting to go out for drinks together. As we spent more time together, Robert began sharing about his family, particularly about his assertive sister, Catherine, who wouldn't settle for anything less than being the best. Catherine went to college and studied business. After that, she worked at a regular company, so she studied business but didn't help out with the family recycling business. She thinks the recycling business is too plain and can't boast about it to her friends. Lol. Catherine has always done whatever she wanted. Although he sounded exasperated, Robert seemed to care deeply about Catherine. As we shared stories about our families, we grew closer. After dating for a while, Robert proposed to me. I couldn't imagine being apart from him, and immediately said yes. I have a favor to ask, Emily. Once we're married, I want you to quit your current job and help with the family business. The recycling business. My mother has been handling accounting, but she hasn't really studied for it. You're an expert in that area, right? I want you to handle our finances. I had grown a bit tired of working for a large company, so the idea of working for a family-run business seemed appealing. I left my job at a major company. As soon as we got married, I started working as an accountant for Robert's father's company. Upon reviewing the books, I realized that my mother-in-law, who had no formal training in accounting, had made numerous mistakes. I began by cleaning up the records and overhauling the company's finances. Eventually, I understood the workings of the recycling business and identified areas where we could cut costs and boost sales. Robert, I have something I want to discuss with you. I decided to consult Robert about the cost-cutting and business plans I had been developing. Robert quickly skimmed through the materials I had prepared and gave me his thoughts. With this business plan, our sales should increase. I'll let Dad and Mom know about it too. My proposal was adopted, and to push forward the cost cuts and the new business plan, I began working tirelessly, even sacrificing sleep. Thanks to these efforts, the company's performance steadily improved, and we were able to hire new employees. As the company thrived, the locals started taking notice. I actively engaged with the community, and our business grew as a community-based store. Time flew by, and before I realized it, 20 years had passed since I joined the company. While the employees and locals grew fond of me, Robert and my in-laws seem to take my dedication to the company for granted. Emily, dear, aren't you working too hard? Are you getting enough days off? The local lady who lived nearby asked, but Robert just laughed. No, no. She's passionate about her work, so she's fine. Even if she gets a day off, she doesn't have any significant hobbies anyway. Haha. I've known about this company from the time of Robert's parents, but its growth is thanks to Emily, right? You should at least give her a big bonus. She's my wife, so she doesn't need a bonus. Living off the company's money is more than enough. Despite the concerns of those around me, I found fulfillment in my job and being involved with the community. I wasn't bothered by the lack of days off or bonuses. What concerned me was Robert's frequent night outs. Robert, you seem to be going out a lot lately at night. Where are you going? Where? I'm working, expanding my network. If it's for business, can't you do it during the day? Stop nagging. I have my way of doing things. You, just a mere accountant, should just stay quiet. I see, but if there's any issue at work, please let me know. Yeah, you got it. Robert seemed annoyed and distanced himself more and more from home. One day, I received a phone call at home. It was from a warehouse of one of our business partners. Emily, something terrible happened. Bob, who came to pick up the goods, suddenly collapsed. What? My father-in-law Bob was rushed to the hospital, but due to the severity of his injury when he fell, he passed away. Mourning his sudden death, many from our business partners and the community attended the funeral. After a long time, I saw Catherine, who had moved out after getting a job. Catherine was taken aback by the grand funeral. This company seemed like it could go under any time. When did it grow so big? It's all thanks to Emily. She turned the company around, increased the profit margin, and expanded the business. And when profits increased, she suggested redistributing it to us, which boosted our morale. Seeing Emily work hard inspires us to do the same. What's so great about slightly improving the performance of such a small company? Catherine seemed upset that the employees were praising me and not paying attention to her. Whenever Catherine saw me, she treated me like a servant. Emily, I'm a bit thirsty. Could you get me a cold drink? Sure, I can make tea if you'd like. I said I want something cold. You might not understand since you've worked in a small company, but in big companies, the boss's word is absolute. I don't think you are my boss, though. Don't nitpick. In our family hierarchy, I am above you. After the funeral, Catherine called Robert and my mother-in-law into a room. Robert, Mom, I'd like to discuss our future as a family. Please come. She glanced at me, who was standing next to Robert, and said coldly, This is a family discussion, so Emily, you're not welcome. Leaving me stunned, Catherine led Robert and her mother into another room. An hour later, Robert came out and casually told me, You're no longer an employee. I've decided to hand over the company to my sister. Wait, what? It seems that the topic of the family discussion was about who would take over the company after their father. Robert, who wasn't assertive enough to be at the top, was reluctant to become the CEO, and their mother also didn't want to be at the forefront. So Catherine stepped up. Seeing the reluctance of Robert and their mother, Catherine declared that she would be happy to become the CEO. They gratefully accepted her proposal. But Catherine has never been involved in this company. Is that okay? Again with the annoying comments, stay out of family matters. I've fought for this family too, and I've been dedicated to this company. You're no longer an employee. What? What do you mean I'm fired? Even if Catherine takes over, someone will still need to handle accounting, right? Catherine's boyfriend is apparently going to handle it, so we don't need you anymore. This is unbelievable. You should know your place, mispraised by others. Enjoy your unemployed life. When Catherine returned, I was not only treated as an outsider in the family, but also had my 2-decade dedication to the company treated as if it was nothing. My job was taken away. The struggles and efforts felt worthless. Although my father-in-law never openly praised me, he always considered my suggestions beneficial for the company. With Catherine, who sees me as an enemy at the top, that won't happen. I have no more attachment to such a company. Okay then, good luck with the business. I decided to part ways with the company and started a home life after seeing Robert off. However, a few months later, Catherine and Robert came to our house. Catherine, what's going on? What do you mean, what's going on? Our company's performance has been deteriorating ever since you left. You didn't hand it over properly, did you? What? I did the minimum handover. Why do you think the performance dropped? Have you been reviewing the monthly expenses? You have to properly calculate the difference between revenue and expenses, or else you'll be in the red. I've always been doing that. I studied management, unlike you. Isn't the fundamental problem with the way the business is being run, even if everything else is in place? If you're going to say that, then tell us what you've done. As I remained silent, Robert spoke impatiently. Emily must be getting bored just staying at home. If you help out the company, I can give you some allowance, so come back. Despite ruthlessly driving me away before, his sudden shift in attitude, wanting to call me back as the business becomes precarious, left me dumbfounded. I decline. I don't wish to return to that company anymore. Hearing my words, Catherine flared up. What? Despite being a full-time housewife, how dare you refuse like that? Do you not care about our family's company? You're the one who doesn't care about the company, and I'm the CEO now. How am I not caring about the company? Weren't you the one who originally said the company was plain and boring? You only took on the role because the title female CEO sounded cool, and you could brag about it. Don't act so high and mighty. What are you basing those accusations on? Your boyfriend Zach told me during the handover. So what? No matter the reason, I saved the company when there was no successor. Saved the company? I believe the current downturn is due to you, Catherine. What do you mean? While I'm at home during the day, I often hear gossip from the regular customers from the neighborhood. They've seen you with Zach out shopping, and even traveling during work hours. That was for business trips. In the 20 years I worked there, I never once saw an accountant go on a business trip. Can you tell me specifically which clients you were meeting with? Why should I tell you? You don't work for us. Your boyfriend, Zach, is quite talkative. During the handover, he boasted about how he could travel and shop using the company's money now that his girlfriend is the CEO. Catherine's face contorted in anger. Zach, he's such a blabbermouth. Employees won't follow a CEO who appoints her boyfriend as the accountant and misuses the company's funds. Isn't the problem with the actions of you and your boyfriend? My words made Robert glare at Catherine. Catherine, is this true? If it is, it's an embezzlement. It's not like that. She's just making things up. Then let's see the books. Zach seemed to lack knowledge in accounting, so he probably wouldn't know how to cover things up. I'm sure there's evidence of misuse. At this, Catherine turned pale. Seeing her reaction, Robert started accusing her. Making you the CEO was a mistake. I'll report this to Mother and have you dismissed. No, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. Catherine left in disgrace. The only one left, Robert turned to me desperately. "Emily, we need your help to save the company. Please come back." Like I said before, I have no intention of going back. "But don't we marry?" "No, our relationship as a married couple is over." I thrust the divorce papers at Robert. "What are you saying?" "If you divorce without returning to work, you'll be the one in trouble. How do you plan to live?" "Don't worry about me." I showed Robert the employment notification from the major company I used to work at. After I was fired, I was on a job hunt. I found out that a former colleague had moved to HR. She remembered my performance and recommended me for re-employment. "That doesn't mean we need to divorce." "No, there's a reason for the divorce." "What?" "I had been worried about you coming home late since just before your father passed away. So I had a detective agency investigate you these past months and found plenty of evidence of your affairs." I thrust out a photo of Robert meeting with an unknown woman. "What is this?" "An affair is a valid reason for divorce, so I will be demanding alimony from you." With undeniable evidence in front of him, Robert had no choice but to agree to my terms and sign the divorce papers and the alimony agreement. With the two documents in hand, I packed up and left our home. Later on, Robert and his mother dismissed Catherine from her position, making Robert the president of the company. At the same time, they fired Zach, and his mother took over the accounting as she used to. After being dismissed, Catherine tried to find another job, but her high expectations made it difficult. Apparently, she's now working part-time and seems to be the butt of jokes among her friends. It seems Zach was only with Catherine for her money. Once she started working part-time, he moved on to another woman, and Catherine was quickly dumped. With Robert, who lacked leadership skills, and his mother, who had no knowledge in accounting in charge, the company's performance only declined. Employees started to leave, and the company eventually went bankrupt. Robert and his mother were drowned in debt. I heard Robert's mistress disappeared when she found out Robert was out of money. Robert, who had never worked for a company, could only find part-time jobs and struggled to pay off his debts. He even had to take care of his aging mother, who couldn't work even part-time, leading to a difficult life. On the other hand, I regained my old skills and am working competently at the major company. My former colleagues appreciate my return, and I am rightfully rewarded for my hard work. Being recognized and valued for my efforts, I've come to realize once again that the best place for me is where I'm needed. I vow to continue to work hard to meet the expectations of those around me.